guess dated all through college after
all
that?
through college, yeah. Yeah.
I understand that in college you also, well, let me take a step back. What kind of woman was Mary?
What kind of what?
Woman was Mary.
Woman was married?
Yeah.
Oh. She had, she was very bright. She had several degrees, graduated summa cum laude. Very congenial in her sorority and her friends. I don't know what else to say about it. Good-looking girl. Took to the Irishman, so we got along well. Went a lot of places, a lot of dances, stuff like that in college. I remember Chestnut Street. They have one-way streets going this way and that, going up, down to Philadelphia, to the town. The school's in West Philadelphia, not too far from downtown, but you had to get there somewhere. And I remember we were going to a dance, and one of my roommates and his girlfriend, they were in the back of the car, and I was the driver, and it was a roadster, I guess. And I remember one of these down streets getting stuck behind the car and hollering at the guy to move, and not realizing that, you know, he was parked, and we'd had a little to drink by that time, and we had more. How we ever got home, I don't know, but we did.
I understand that you had an interesting job in college, also working at the World's Fair.
Oh, I did the same. I used to ride back and forth with this boy, Adam Cornelius, because they lived in Buffalo, and his father owned half of that shipping line. So when the World's Fair came along, his father bought the chair concession. You know, pushing the wheelchair with people in the fair. So Bill and I both went out there. I'd forgotten what Bill did, and I started out pushing the chair. We lived on the south side of town, you know, in a crummy area, but we had a room and a lot of guys doing the same thing, working in the fair. And I pushed a wheelchair for 2 weeks, and then I saw these athletes pulling rickshaws. And you pulled one passenger, and people, wealthier people coming into the fair paid more to be pulled in a rickshaw, of course. So the tips were higher. Anyway, it only took me a couple of weeks, and of course I knew that Adam and his father owned the rickshaws as well as the chairs. So I got myself a rickshaw, and around here someplace is a cloth plaque about that round, and it has my name and pen on it, and that's what you wore to tell your passengers where you were from. And at night, you'd get, quite often you'd get 3 or 4 couples, and there were 8 rickshaws, and they'd say, okay, Ben Bernie's. So we'd go to Ben Bernie's, and quite often they couldn't get 8 rickshaws, and they didn't give a damn. So they would go into Ben Bernie's and we'd sit outside and we'd wait for them to have dinner and a few drinks, and then they'd come out and we'd tour them around, and then they'd go home. And one night, they took us all in. And we saw the show, and, you know, and they were just people with a lot of money who didn't care how they spent it. But it was not hard work. Well, they had a rickshaw race. I don't know whether I have a picture of this or not. And it was in, what's his name, you know, the guy published Unusual Events.
Ripley.
Huh?
Ripley.
Well, anyway, I drew a woman, a girl, who must have weighed 250 pounds. Oh, jeez, I didn't have any more chance in pulling her at a speed than it was too bad. But I don't know how I got her, whether everybody else evaded her or not. Jesus, she had no right to be. Anyway.
What year did you graduate from Penn?
34.
34.
And
Let's stop there.
walked out the door and went to work on a freighter. You know, none of this business, well,